Welcome back, everybody, to the Denver Dzogchen podcast. I'm here once again with Joseph Wagner, and today we're going to talk about incredible ways that you can build your merit in your daily life. This is the most important lesson I've learned about the Dharma in the last 10 years is really getting under my skin and in my heart the need for merit. The difference between, like, when we look at the great yogis of Tibet and we wonder, why aren't we like them? Even if we practice a lot, because I practice a lot, but I still feel nowhere near these guys. The difference is merit. And so some of the reasons that this merit situation is different have to do with the opulence of our current culture and situation. Joe, you really talked about this some, and I would like for you to share some more about how living in such comfortable circumstances makes it harder for us to build the kind of merit the yogis of the past were able to.
Thanks, Damien, and hello, everyone. Yeah, we've been thinking a lot about this because, as in parentheses, right? Quotation marks, hardcore practitioners, people whose lives are about Dharma practice, and knowing a lot of people in this world of real practitioners. All these words are just words, because if we went to Tibet, they would laugh at us. Oh my gosh, you guys still have worldly lives and you call yourself practitioners. There are different levels. But in our world, we're really into it. I spend many hours a day practicing. Damien spends all his time practicing. He just was telling me he's doing a retreat this weekend. We are really super into it. But how come I can't fly in the sky? How come I can't read other minds? All this stuff. Why? I think one of the primary reasons is we don't have enough merit. I've talked to some much more advanced practitioners than myself about this, and the consensus seems to be, at least in part, that the way our world has unfolded, such that we have such incredible resources at our disposal, which we'll talk a little bit about, is makes it harder to get the special kind of energy. Merit is just good karma, right? It's like positive virtue together enough to see these kind of real transformative experiences, whether it's rainbow body or the siddhis manifesting, or even like a deep transformation of someone into someone more like Garchen or Rinpoche, just full of love. It's not only about hardcore practice, it's about having the right kind of foundation. And that foundation in the Dharma is merit. And one of the magical things about the Vajrayana is that do have special methods for building up this particular kind of karma, this particular kind of virtue that makes it possible to attain the higher levels of the path. So we've been talking a lot about this in our Tuesday night group, and that's why Damien's bringing it up here, and I thought we could share a little bit about that.
Yeah, so there's so many things we do every day that are opportunities for accumulating merit. And I've been thinking about how merit is not only, or the accumulation of merit is not only a means to an end, it actually is what something like a Pure Land is. I was hearing about the Pure Land. One of the characteristics of Sukhavati is that perfect flower petals are constantly falling from the sky, and that periodically all the practitioners use sheets of silk and catch them and then go offer them to the Buddhas, right? So this is a free thing is just falling from the sky that they are then offering to the Buddhas continuously. This is a little bit what it's like. We have the conditions, the positive things falling into our lap at all times: cozy beds, warm blankets, delicious meals. All of these things are around us all the time. These are like flowers falling from the sky. All we have to do is offer them to the
Mm.
Buddhas mentally, and we will start to develop something like a Pure Land, because that's really the nature of the Pure Land, as far as I can tell, is just a merit generating machine. You're hearing the Dharma continuously, you're making offerings continuously. That's bliss, right? Like, that actually is the nature. It's not just like how you get out of samsara. It is eventually, but on the way, it actually is amazing on the way. And this is we were talking about the activities and how much fun they are to do. It's because of this quality, because ordinary fun, like what we think of like samsaric fun, like going to Vegas, feels amazing and then feels like shit afterwards, right? There's a payback. You get the hangover, you get the I lost all my money. You have to pay for it afterwards. When you do merit building activities, you feel good doing it during it, and you feel better afterwards. This is the amazing nature of these things. When we do Dharma practice, once you get into it and find your flow of enjoyment, like I was talking about last time, um, then it's not a chore. It's not something you have to do. You find that it's the sort only thing that in my life, when I do it, I feel good during it and good afterwards. Everything else has like a downtick, right? You have like an amazing meal and you don't dedicate it and you don't turn it to a practice. Then afterwards, you just kind of feel like, okay, so what? Now it's over.
Got to eat again in just an hour and a half. Yeah.
Exactly. And everything is like that. And it's like, oh, I have this amazing vacation and weekend, but now I got to go back to work. Every time I turn around, it's Monday.
I think this whole thing came because years ago, it must have been more than 10 years ago, a friend of mine who lives in Oregon, and I might have told this story before, but I think about it a lot. He lives on a beautiful property in which there's a natural spring and you can drink the water from the spring. And someone he didn't know very well came to visit and he was showing him around the property and he took him to the spring and he said, "Oh, this water's really sweet. You can drink it." And the guy like put his hand like this and caught a little bit of the water and he took a little sip and he closed his eyes and he just kept doing that. He did that for like a whole minute. Like you just kept sipping. And eventually my friend was like, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I'm drinking water for all those who are thirsty." And for some reason, that impacted me so deeply. And I realized in that, in contemplating that, this magical thing about the Vajrayana. Because what is it that gets us sort of out of samsara, so to speak? Whether it's out of samsara in this world where it appears in a pure way to us, or to a pure realm, or to Buddhahood, whatever the case is, it's merit. And if our merit is being used to support a more and more lavish lifestyle, and I use lavish in quotation marks, so I will describe it, what I mean by that in a moment, then there's no liftoff possible for us to get to a more pure view of things. In Tibet, in our last episode, I showed a picture of this demon suppressing stupas that are being built in Inner Mongolia by one of my teachers in Tibet. They don't even have running water in their house. They divert a stream through a tube and they have to filter it because there are bugs in the stream. I'm not kidding because I've been there and that's how it is. They have an outdoor toilet and yet they are living almost in a pure realm that I myself have experienced when being there. It's not that they don't have hard times. Of course they do. And it's not that we're bad because we have indoor toilets. It's nothing like that. But if all of our energy is being used to just support a more and more easy, quote unquote, easy and soft lifestyle, this is not good. It's not good for us, and it doesn't promote the activity of the Dharma.
Yeah. Well, when you look at Shakyamuni, you look at Padmasambhava, they both came from opulence of their time. And I guarantee the opulence of their time was nowhere near a middle class lifestyle in America, right? So even the prince situation of Shakyamuni was not like what we have. They did not have taps and refrigerators and Uber Eats, right? So we have amazing opulence. And they chose to leave that luxury to go have even less as part of the path, right? This is one way it can be done, right? You can renounce, have less things. This can help. This does produce merit, obviously. But since most of us aren't able to do that, really, the world doesn't support that, right? Like if I go out, I'll get shot by ICE or whoever if I try and live in the woods. You know, that's not going to go well for me. So I have to find a way to transform this experience, right? So that there are teachings for how to live in opulence and cultivate merit using it. And I think that's what this is all about.
Yeah. I think before we say that, we have to point out the difference between our life right now and, say, 200 years ago. Uh, right now, it is possible to have, as you said, with Uber Eats, pretty much anything you want to eat of any kind in almost any quantity. And all that is necessary is making this gesture on your phone. You just move your thumbs like this, and all of a sudden someone brings Indian food or Thai food or Japanese food directly to your house. It is, if you think about it for a second, 200 years ago, there wasn't a king or a prince in the world who could do that. They might have been able to have lots of dishes, but they couldn't say, and throw in some Thai food. I like, I'd like some sushi. Now you can go to a restaurant in Denver, where I live, or in Seattle, where you live, anywhere, and eat fish. I mean, I'm personally a vegetarian, but you could eat fish that was in the ocean in Japan yesterday. This is insane. This is insane. And all you do is show this piece of plastic like this and tap it on this thing, and that is all you have to do for it. The fact is that is not bad. It's beautiful. It's incredible. If I am cold, I can go to this box that you can see right there, and I can move a little switch this far, and it will be warm. If I'm hot, I can move it a different direction and it will be cool. A miracle, an absolute miracle that at the time of the Buddha was, absolute fantasy. You can know anything with this. This machine will allow you to know anything and even have like a talking conversation with a non-human being who literally does know everything. It is important to reflect on this, or else what we're about to say doesn't mean anything. Because this is the case, it takes tremendous amount of merit just to support this lifestyle. A car, insurance, it's an easy situation where you can know everything. It's not that our lives are easy. It's not that. Life is hard no matter where you are. Whether you're in Tibet or you're in freaking Denver, it's still hard. No one is denying that or anything. Nor is it bad to be in Denver, whatever. We have to live in the situation we're in. But we have to understand that our karmic piggy bank of merit is being depleted all the time simply by going to dinner wherever you want and eating anything you want and making it warm in your house and carving pumpkins and watching movies and riding your bicycle, all things that require tremendous. Just think about what's required to ride your bike. You have to have a bike. You have to know about having a bike. You have to have the time. You have to have a functional body. And you have to have a flat road, because in Tibet, you don't ride bikes because there's no roads. And so it's like, wouldn't work very well in the same way. Follow me? I think it's important because people don't understand what is being said. No one's putting anyone down. I think it's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
But the fact that we can flip a switch and the light comes on is incredibly rare and amazing, and only very recent that since that's been possible. My grandfather, my father's father, went to school in a horse and buggy. Now we can practically teleport. It's like a miracle.
Yeah.
Because that's the case, we have extra opportunity, which is what we're going to talk about next.
Well, before you move on to that, to me, what we are in, our situation, the opulence we're in, is a little bit like proof of Pure Lands and all of these things, right? Like we're moving towards a more mental created world, right? Like right now we're on Zoom, which is a little bit like telepathy, right? Like we're communicating without going anywhere, without and in the past I would have to like raise sheep and then give you my food to get something from you. Like if you made clothes and I needed clothes, I'd actually have to give you the thing I relied on to survive in order to have that. Now I just, like you said, a piece of plastic that I touch the things, this money, whatever the heck that is able to produce what we need. So the continuum of this to me leads to like the ideas of the God realm, where whatever you think of immediately is there and you experience pleasure. We've moved in that direction.
Oh, yeah, are in a kind of God realm.
But the danger of that is the danger that the Buddha Dharma has warned about, right? That the higher realms are not more conducive to the Dharma. They're more dangerous because there's apathy becomes stronger and you burn up that karma and eventually you fall from it, right? Like these are the risks. So we can see that the human realm has shifted a little bit up towards the God realms. Mm-hmm. And this is both good and awesome and the result of accumulated good karma, but also dangerous for the path. But it doesn't have to be. And as you're going to explain, we can use this to even go faster in some ways.
I think so. I think we not only can we absolutely have to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, no matter how much you meditate, you can't seem to get ahead. You cannot make. That's why so many practitioners look totally like ordinary people these days. And they have the same desires, they have the same activities. They're just more or less the same. Very different in a place like Tibet, where the a practitioner is like a different style of being entirely than a regular worldly person, at least in my experience.
Yeah.
So, what do we actually do? What we need to do is recognize how much goodness is manifest in our life almost at every moment. Just when you open your closet and you have a choice of 20 different shirts you can wear, like a miraculous thing on any level, when you do that, you have this opportunity. And again, as we've said in the last couple of episodes, and it's like the key point of the whole thing, you have to be aware. You have to make space for this. Otherwise, we just live in that and we automatically get used to this level. Get used to things being easy. And then when something really bad happens, you get very sick or you get cancer or somebody dies close to you, you're just completely shocked and like unable to deal. We have to recognize first of all, that spaciousness. We got to do that. So when you next time you open your closet and you're like, red, white, purple, blue combination, what do I want to wear today? It's not as many choices for men as women, but we still get our choices.
Mine's just black, 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 black.
Black, 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 but they're not all the same black.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Whatever the situation is, even if you have two shirts, you get to choose one over the other. That choice requires merit.
Yeah.
So when you go to make that choice, if you can embrace it, even for a moment, you don't even have to believe it. Because believing is just thoughts. You generate a different type of thought that says, may all beings have this kind of choice. And then rest in that openness that immediately follows, the view, if you know how to do that. If not, just mental silence is okay. And that is like sending off the arrow, like we've talked about before. And instead of this is all just words. Instead of depleting your merit by having this choice and making it in a completely sleepy way, where you're just like, this should, whatever will make me look best, actually negative use, you actually increase your merit. You use your pleasure to gain merit, like King Indrabhuti did, right? It's not all aestheticism in the Vajrayana. You can use your situation to some degree to improve your general outlook on things and to live more and more in a pure realm. This is why these days, in a non-dharmic sense, people are so into gratitude. Working on gratitude. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. This is not benefit others except through, you feel better, so you're nicer. But when you generate gratitude, you transform the world into a more pure place. You're like, wow, I'm a lucky person. I'm luckier than I thought. You know? Here we can speed that up. We can turn the dial up to 11, like in Spinal Tap, by when we reach for that shirt, taking a moment and being like, I'm choosing this shirt. May all beings have this type of shirt. I'm drinking this water like that guy for all beings who are thirsty. Does it actually make their thirst less? We can't say. Garch Rinpoche says, yes, it does. He says this is the secret of Tonglen, giving and taking, the secret Dzogchen Tonglen, which you can receive from him on his videos. Please do that. But for us, it creates this tremendous sense of possibility when we make that choice, when we turn on the heat. If we turn on the heat, may all beings be warm. May they be warmed. May they have what they need to stay healthy and well. If we have that, and when we let go, then that moment becomes an opportunity to make merit, not a depletion of our merit count, so to speak. And then it can go up and up. And I guarantee you, from my own experience and Damien's experience and many people we know, this really works. And it works immediately. It doesn't take time. It works immediately.
And if you're a Guru Rinpoche sycophant like me, you can also do the other field of merit, which is to offer to the Buddhas, right? So there's two fields of merit, the sentient beings and the Buddhas. And so I have a devotional bent. So you can like offer all your shirts to the Buddhas before you wear them, or offer your food to the Buddhas before you eat it. So you can go either direction. I don't think it matters either way.
Yeah,
the same because
both
love.
ways, right? Sometimes you feel one way, sometimes you feel the other. It's best for people to know that you can do both,
Yeah,
right? You can say, "May all beings be clothed," and I put this shirt on, this splendor I offer to the Buddhas.
yeah.
This, if you do both of those, then of course it's better. I'm emphasizing the one way. The Indians talk about the other way. They're the same, and we need to do both. Just like hand needs a front and a back. Good.
Yeah. And so like we have all of these opportunities all day long with all of this amazing stuff around us. And like I said, it's like being in the Pure Land where you're just catching flower petals and offering them. It's effortless. You're already doing it. And there's so much magic and importance in this whole gratitude offering thing too, because I like to watch like Naked and Afraid and like survival shows because there's so much, I get such a bliss out of the experience. What is amazing about this is that these people go through this, and then when they come back, they suddenly can appreciate this stuff that we just take for granted constantly. We have no idea what we have. Go try and live naked in the woods for a week, and you will.
I went for 2 hours.
It's horrible. You watch them just getting eaten by bugs just continuously. They're starving, they're thirsty, they're freezing to death, they're getting sick, they're throwing up. It's horrible. But then they come back, and it's like you get to see, it's like we are so detached from how good we have it. And that's not a good thing. We need to appreciate our lives and the amazing experience that we have. And this is not only a way to progress on the Dharma, it will also just make you feel better because you will be
Yeah.
appreciating your life.
It has immediate effects on all levels.
Yeah.
I think that it's very important to keep in mind that these good things in our lives, whether they're electricity or refrigeration or food or Uber Eats, are opportunities. If we take them as opportunities, we can go up and up. If we don't take them as opportunities, we become we just remain in our state of a kind of somnolence, a kind of waking dream. I mean, think about it. We're all trying to become what? Buddhas. What does Buddha mean? Awake. What does that mean? If we're not a Buddha, we're asleep. And what are we asleep to? In this particular context, opportunity. Every time you drink a cup of tea, every time you make a phone call or take one, every time you move money from your PayPal account, whatever, if you embrace it within this, like, wow, I do this for all beings, I make this offering, you're paying your bills. Perfect example. Or even better, your taxes. Everyone's trying to sneak out of. They hate paying taxes. This is evil. It's just bad. Like, I wish I wasn't doing that. Even people in our head of our government's trying to do it. It's crazy. If
Yeah.
you look at it the other way, you feel incredibly grateful. I like paying taxes. You know why? Because I like driving on streets that don't have potholes in them.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like being able to call 911 if somebody has a bad accident and having them come. That's where that money goes. Of course, does it all go there? No. Some of it's using for all sorts of terrible purposes. Focus on the good stuff because that's also true. Then, when you pay your taxes, think, may all beings be supported by this money.
Yeah.
And that is like it has an immediate effect on how you see the world. How does it make you see the world? In a more wakeful way. Tulku Urgyen pointed out all the time the world is already a pure realm. Everybody is already devas and dakinis, Buddhas and bodhisattvas. We just don't see it that way. Why? Because we don't have enough merit. And
Yeah.
this is the way to transform it. This is the secret way. Because you go to a restaurant and you perform an act, a magical act, by saying, bring me Panang curry and I want it with tofu, and I want it medium spicy. I mean, think about how complex it is. Someone takes that order, they go in the kitchen, they pronounce it, or they write it in the pad, whatever, and all of a sudden, a steaming bowl of tofu, curry, Penang style, medium hot, is delivered to your plate. Amazing, absolutely incredible. If you see it for what it is, you're already in a pure realm. And that is the accomplishment of the Vajrayana, right? The key point, the hallmark of the Vajrayana is pure perception. And we can engage in it anytime because we already live in a freaking pure realm.
Yeah.
And it's quite miraculous and amazing. I think it's one of the most important things that I personally have discovered in recent years is this thing because it can be Every time you tie your shoes, every time you choose your shoes. If you're like me, men don't have a lot of accessories. I've got like 12 pairs of shoes. And if I have my special hiking shoes, I put those on, I feel like, woo! And if I offer that to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, may their grip on the world be strong. May sentient beings have a firm foundation. This is like it's a transformation of a totally ordinary mundane act into a holy act. And what does that turn the practitioner into? A holy person. And that's how you become like the great gurus. I am positive this is true.
Yeah.
You don't have to believe it. Just try and you will see. It's a miracle.
You listen to Garchen Rinpoche, and he really is a master of this. He talks about, like, how you really need to be grateful to your country, and you need to think every time you see construction workers that they're like building this pure land for you, and that the government is serving you and protecting you. Like, this is all also true, right? Like, I have a negative punk rock bent about everything, but that doesn't always serve me. There's this other side of it that's totally true, that I am being protected by our government, and they are building our roads, and the construction that they've been doing for 6 years on the same corner driving me crazy. Are people bodhisattvas serving us, right? Like, these people are working hard. And he also talks about at your job, you should see, like, when like, you can be thankful to your bosses and see the organization is helpful, and when you get to do work, recognize your work as offering whatever you're offering to the world. I mean, we really could have a more positive view of all of our experiences. And then you look at the activities that he has, like these bracelets that everyone has, the t-shirts he wears, everything he's doing all the time is to bring benefit to others. This is a Pure Land, and you can tell he lives in one. And he's showing us how. He's giving us the methods to do it ourselves. He gives us the things so that we can also live a life like that, where everything we're doing is liberation through seeing and helping others, and everything we're doing is grateful and appreciated, and we appreciate others, and even those who we might typically drive us nuts, we can see as like actually helping us along the path.
Beautiful. Yeah. There's one further thing to say about this. It's not only, oh, it's amazing that this food is served to me. May all beings enjoy food. But when you're actually enjoying it,
Mm-hmm.
when you're actually walking in those shoes or eating the food, and especially if you want a real practice to do for our listeners, when you are in a restaurant, offering up all the enjoyment to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas that is taking place. All these people are getting just what they want. And if they don't, they send it back to get just what they want. And there's 60 people in the restaurant, and they're all celebrating, and the waiters and waitresses are getting paid, and there's a great deal of happiness in there. People are drinking and just partying, gathering up that enjoyment and offering it. What a pure offering, what a beautiful offering.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it because you think, oh, drinking's bad, right, then just offer the pure part. It's okay. There's a pure part in there. There's a happiness aspect. You can offer that. And then right in the middle of eating the soup, you still are gaining merit. It is like amazing. It is
Yeah.
amazing. What does it take? Conscientiousness. You have to be present with it. You have to do it consciously. And that's the difference between practitioners and not. Everybody's in a trance, just walking, like driving to the store and getting the cookies and putting them in their mouth. They're not even conscious. That's why we're not Buddhas. We're
Yeah.
sentient beings. Sentient beings, definition of sentient being, asleep. Definition of Buddha, awake. We want to be awake, we have to be awake to it. And we got to eat that cookie, enjoy that. And in the middle of that, spaciousness, all beings. In the middle of that, openness, spaciousness, all being. And it goes like this. And that's what we see in someone like Garchen Rinpoche is a manifestation of this. I was watching his For the Benefit of All Beings, the movie about him, which is freaking awesome, by the way, if you haven't seen it. It's on YouTube. And in the one point, he's brushing his teeth with this tiny little sink. He lives in a tiny little room where he says that he plays mantras in the background on the CD player all the time. This is Garchen Rinpoche. He's like doing that to transform his own environment into a pure, and he's brushing his teeth, and he's got his meditation belt on, and you're like, Buddha, Buddha, right there. We can do this too. You brush your teeth for the good of all beings. May all beings have strong teeth. May all have a white smile. May all be attractive. And that attractiveness, I offer the essence of it to all the Buddhas. You do this, you transform the situation right then. You don't have to ask, is this working? It's obviously working because you can feel it and you can see it in what you see with your eyes. It's amazing, don't you think?
Oh, it's incredible. And we have like, yeah, because like I don't know about you, but when I'm eating the cookie, I'm thinking about the cookie in the package that I'm not eating yet while I'm eating the cookie in my hand, right? I don't enjoy anything because I'm always on to the next thing. Like, whatever I'm doing, my brain is already moving on to the thing beyond. But if I stop and offer it, then I'm actually enjoying it. And I think this is also another important point. One of the four immeasurables that I think that we all kind of suck at, I know I suck at, is joy, right? Because we think sometimes I love you, and we think sometimes may be free from suffering, but we don't. How often do we think how awesome that you're experiencing joy right now? I hope you enjoy that meal. How often do we really experience the feeling of appreciation of other people's happiness? We don't. I don't know about you, but I don't spend that much time thinking
Schadenfreude.
how wonderful that these
Schadenfreude. That's the
people.
German word for this. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Like, oh, there some people are having a wedding. How wonderful. I hope they have the best time ever. I hope it's just perfect. Like really appreciating others' happiness. We don't do this. And this is exactly what you're saying. In the restaurant, we can appreciate others' happiness and then we can offer all that happiness. And now we've doubled down
Absolutely.
on the.
Offer our own happiness, recognize, because it's not just joy, it's sympathetic joy. The vibration of joy we're experiencing, the vibration that the kid is experiencing riding his bike on the street, you dig the vibe and you offer it all. And in that way we can transcend this body. We can transcend this world of suffering, this saha changing world right now, not some other time.
Yeah.
It's right now. It's amazing. I'm glad we're talking about this. I really hope people will try it and report back about how it's going for them.
Yeah, this is another important aspect is that you can actually tap into other people's karma. When other people are doing something positive and you say how wonderful that they're doing it, now you get that karma. This is an amazing thing, right? So, and this works both ways, right? So if we rejoice in evil, then we get the negative. We get connected to the negative. We become part of that action. But when we rejoice in the positive, and that's why, like, it's part of our 7 branch prayers, it's so important to think about all the sanghas, everybody doing good in the world, everybody who's doing their job to try to help beings or to even get the paycheck so they can feed their family or whatever. We can rejoice in the merit of all of that. And then we're like, because how much merit can one person really have? I mean, compared to the multiplying merit that we can have through being connected to others' activities.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, we can connect to the waitresses. Like my wife works in a restaurant, like they're serving all of these people. They're constantly accumulating merit by offering food to people, as you said, when they just ask for it. And then so we can rejoice in the merit of all of these things all the time. There's so much potential in front of us at all times. As you said, we just need to be aware that it's right in front of you, that I'm sitting on this super cushy bed that is just a miracle to even sit on, right? Like nothing in nature is this cozy, right? That is amazing. So as always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. I rejoice in the merit of you watching the show and having dedicated your life to the path. May this benefit all sentient beings. And if you wouldn't mind hitting like, share, and subscribe, we greatly appreciate that act of generosity because it really helped the show to reach other people, which what's the point of doing this if nobody watches? Thank you so much and have a great week.
Be well.